Hello YouTube, this is Odd Job Entertainment. I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to do a two-tone mask shift style paint setup for your car. Those are words. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that you can paint with colors that you don't usually have access to. So everything that we're going to be using is mask shapes. But first we need a backdrop to paint on, so I'm grabbing this white rectangle primitive and we're just going to make it as big as we need to fill in our backdrop. If things seem a little off, that's because the audio that I originally recorded for this didn't save, so now I'm trying to comment over things that I've already done, and that's weird to me. I haven't done this before. Now we're tabbing over to the letters that I like, and we're going to start typing out the YouTube channel name. And a huge time saver here is to work in one movement axis at a time. So here I'm moving only in X, and that's going to make it so that all my letters line up and I don't have to worry about dealing with the funky movement controls that the Forza Horizon 4 vinyl editor has. I mean, come on, guys. Just let us type in custom fields in those little text windows. If I could just type a number there, that'd be great, but can't do that. So a lot of this is just the same kind of thing. We're just going to keep placing letters until we get Odd Job Entertainment spelled out. So we're going to cut back to where we now have it mostly spelled out. We've just got N and T left. And just as an example of what to do in case you do screw up, if you move it wrong, just hit B to go back and just select the shape again. It's faster to do it that way. Don't waste time trying to place it correctly after you mess up. Just go back and do it again. Okay, now we've got Odd Job Entertainment spelled out. It's looking nice and pretty. Letters are spaced out nice. Now we're going to create a top and bottom border, which we are going to make with the same rectangular primitive that we used for the backdrop. We're just going to use it as a mask this time. So, got to get over to that tab. Shrink it down vertically, and then we're going to roughly center this. That way, when I place it on the side of a car, I'll be able to have it line up pretty well with the full side of a car. And then we're just going to make this really big in the X direction, and that'll make it so that it'll basically take up the entire side of a car if I need it to. So, like I said, just making it really big. And then we want to, oops, made a mistake. So we're going to go back, and then we're going to change position on this later, and that's going to be faster than trying to get the same size settings that we had before. So we're going to change position, then we're going to stamp it with the Y button, and then we'll move straight up to copy it and put it where we need it. Very important when you're saving these vinyl groups, before you save it, you must get rid of the white backdrop. Otherwise, it will save it with that white backdrop and it will not look good. Not for what we're trying to do anyways. Give it a descriptive name so that you know what it is. I've got a lot of these Odd Job Entertainment banners now, so it's important to know what it is. And then we're going to go right back into our editing page and make a different variation. This time we're going to give it a full border. And so I just put the backdrop back by hitting Y to insert it after I had cut it previously. So now we can get right back to working, and we're going to create a border using our rectangular primitives and a macaroni corner. So again, we're going to shrink this down vertically, and then this time it is more important to have it centered because it's going to be the top and bottom of the full border that we're making. So you can see I get it close to the size of our text, and then I adjust it a little bit to make sure that it lines up well. We're going to stamp it again, copy it to the top. And then we're going to grab our macaroni corner. We're going to shrink this down so that the ends of the macaroni noodle roughly match up with the height and with the height of our top and bottom border. One thing to keep in mind is, people aren't really going to be able to get super close to your vinyl groups, so you don't need to worry too much about getting it perfect, but this is one of the things that kills me. I'm very much a perfectionist, and doing these kinds of editing where I don't have that precise control is, it's mind-boggling. But to keep this easy on yourself, only work on one axis at a time. So you see I stamped it in the bottom, and then I move straight up in Y, spin it 90 degrees, place it. Then we're going to move over in X, spin it 90 degrees, and place it again. And we'll repeat that one more time for the fourth corner as well. And then to finish up the sides of our border, we're just going to use another rectangular primitive. We're going to skinny it up and move it to the sides. So getting it lined up in Y direction on the left side saves me work on the right side. I just stamp it there, move it straight over in X direction, don't touch the Y axis, and then I just have to get it lined up in the X direction and it'll look good. Alright, so now we've got another variation of our Odd Job Entertainment logo saved. So we're going to, again, get rid of the white backdrop before we save it. And again, give yourself a descriptive name. When you're looking through all your vinyl groups, it's going to get really confusing. Now we're going to hop over to the car editing window. So we're going. What I've got here is I've got a Dodge SRT10, and you can see on this side the color that I've given it. It's a two-tone polished color. It goes from a blue to more of a green, so it gives it this kind of cyan mix. Looks really good, I think. And then over top of that, on all the sides that we have access to, I've gone and placed a dark gray rectangular primitive that covers up the entire surface. And what this means is when we place our masking group, it's going to cut away that gray and reveal the blue shift paint job that we have underneath. Just like so. So we're going to shrink this down, get it to fit somewhat well. And the cool thing is this is easily expanded to make the picture that you saw in the thumbnail. You can use any of the shapes that Forza has as mask shapes instead of vinyl layers, and it will cut away at this gray and you'll get this cool blue shift color from moving it around and placing it on the car. So everything else that you see in the thumbnail was just taking the default Forza shapes and slapping them on. So it's really pretty simple from this point. But I do have to give credit where credit's due. I did not come up with this technique on my own. I figured it out by looking at some of the other designs for the SRT10. You can see there's one for, here's one that's pretty similar on a different car. Can't remember what car that is, but they used a gold as the backdrop and then put black over top. Let's see, where's that SRT? There we go. There's the SRT10. So this guy did a similar thing with this monster setup. So M23 Air Jordan, good job. I liked looking at your design and it helped me figure out how to do this technique. So If this is helpful to you guys, let me know down in the comments. But otherwise, you know how this goes. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all the YouTube things. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. And until next time, this is Odd Job Entertainment, signing off.